I'm not gonna lie to you guys, between this team and the Aces, this is probably gonna be one of my easiest Will My Fave make rosters. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Justice. Give me my verdicts and views about women's basketball, and today we are gonna go through your Los Angeles Sparks. All I know is the Los Angeles Sparks cannot have a season like last year, baby. Disappointed. Disappointed. People were so disappointed just because they were so on paper. They should have won more games. On paper, the roster was way too talented for them not to win more games. And I think that is a fair assessment. I do think this season is going to be drastically different just based upon the moves that they made in free agency up until this point. And again, they didn't do a bunch of crazy things, but baby, when you add in some heavy hitters, it has you singing a different tune. If you add in Neka Ogumake, you are singing a different tune. When you add in Ariel Atkins, despite some of the fact that some of y'all are playing in Ariel's face, like see some regular schmegular degular player, let me tell you something, baby, she's going to add value to this roster. And then you add another year, a healthy Cam, Ray Burrell made great strides in this offseason. Erica, Kelsey, Erica Wheeler's a good addition to this. But the biggest thing that I think is going to be the X factor is in the WNBA draft, they got honestly the biggest steal, and that is going to be Tanaya Lotson. LA Sparks should not lose a substantial amount of games this season. And I can say that with they should not. There is no excuse. Absolutely no excuse except like injuries or something. But besides injuries or something, there is no excuse that the LA Sparks should not win a substantial amount of games. The roster is just way too talented. Now that I gave you kind of a brief about why I think LA is going to be good this season, let's talk about who's coming to the camp. Like I said, this Los Angeles Sparks roster and camp is kind of pretty cut and dry. On protected contracts, all proven vets. Like you can't. This is the who's who. You know what I'm saying? A solid 5 group of individuals on protected contracts. Kelsey, NECA, Ariel, De'Erica, and Erica Wheeler. On our rookie scale contracts, you have Cameron Brink and Sanaya Fagan. Even though those are unprotected contracts, I do not see them cutting Cameron or Sanaya. Then we talk about draft night. They had 3 picks on draft night, but they didn't have their first pick until the second round. When they selected Lotson, people were like, "Oh my God, they let Lotson." It's not so much about what pick, it's about fit, and I preach that constantly. And I think Tanaya Lotson dropping to the Sparks was a blessing in disguise because she was their first pick in the second round. That essentially kind of served as Los Angeles Sparks' first pick because that was their first choice of the night. Then they had the 24th pick and they selected Chance Gray. And then they had another pick in the third round and they selected Amelia Hassett with the 35th pick. So that is what draft night looked like for the LA Sparks. Now on training camp contracts. They have a lot of players returning from last year with Emma Cannon's coming back on a training camp contract. Ray Burrell. Ray Burrell was a reserve free agent, so she couldn't leave if she wanted to. And then Julie's back and they signed her with the training camp contract. New to camp is going to be, they had 2 late additions or what I would consider late additions to training camp contracts. And that is going to be Sev Uzin and then also correct me if I mispronounce this. Please give me some grace. Jayun Park, also zone training camp contract. So honestly, guys, that is what the that's who's coming to camp. As you can see, I did not list a lot of players, and a lot of players that we talked about. Obviously, we said things like they were on the team last year and they're a returner, or this, then the third. So there isn't a lot of players coming, which means there's a good possibility that you will make roster. So let's answer the golden question that we're here for. Will my fave make roster? Looking at our numbers, off rip, obviously our 5 protected contracts will be there. NECA, Kelsey, Erica, De'Erica, and Ariel. Then also they're going to keep Cam. They're going to keep Sanaya. I also think they bring back Emma. They sign Ray and also Julie just because they're returners. They were with the team last year. Whatever the case may be, I think that they're going to go with them and give them a spot. So now we're sitting at 10. As far as Tanaya, also will be getting a spot. So that brings me to 11. Now that last spot, that 12th spot, I think is going to come down between Sev and Park, who they just added in on training camp contracts. I think they'll be battling each other for that last roster spot. Now, don't forget, we still do have those 2 development spots as well. Now, LA went ahead and signed Laura Ziegler to a development spot. So one of those roster spots for the development is already taken. Now, the last spot for development roster is going to come between Chance or Amelia. So honestly, Everybody at camp knows who their comp is knows who they have to outwork to get that last roster spot. So, will my fave make roster? There's a good chance your fave will make roster. Your fave is Tanaya, no if and buts about it. If your fave is on a training camp contract and was on the team last year, like Emma or like Ray or like Julie, yes, you also build roster. The only people who really are buying and fighting for a roster spot are those who just got a new training camp this year, which is Sev and Park, or if you are a rookie and your name is not Tanaya Lotson or Laura Ziegler. So at the end of the day, the conversation comes down, will LA be good? Yes. I would be there need to be a different conversation if the LA Sparks aren't good. The roster is way too deep with experience. When you look at you got gold medalists, you got MVPs, you got champions, you got people who have played different roles from six women of the year. I couldn't pick for better vets for Tanaya to learn from. In being thrown into a situation where she has a lot of opportunity, and without a lot of worry as well. But then also I've seen great strides from Ray in the off season. So I want to see what that looks like. A healthy Cameron Brink. I think that's going to make a difference. Like I'm excited for this LA Sparks roster because I think they have a lot of potential and they should be able to make some noise.